The latest CBS News Battleground Tracker estimates presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden is leading in two key states, Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. In Wisconsin, Joe Biden leads by 6 points among likely voters. And in Pennsylvania, the former vice president also has a 6-point edge. This comes as Biden is cutting into President Trump's margins with white, non-college educated voters. Those are also both states President Trump won in 2016 because of late deciding voters. CBS News Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvanto, joins me now. So, Anthony, break this down for us. What's giving Joe Biden a slight advantage right now in Wisconsin, a state that went for Donald Trump in 2016?
Yeah, famously, Elaine, right? If those folks who recall election night 2016 will remember, it was Wisconsin, and then we called Pennsylvania, and that's what put Donald Trump over the top and clinched him the win in the White House. Well, that's a good reason to focus on these two states, plus they'll be pivotal again this year. One of the short answers to your question is last time in 2016, you'll recall those late deciders and that narrative that Donald Trump had better connected with the voters up there, that they liked him better. Well, they certainly voted for him. Well, check this out. In both Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, I'll show you who understands your needs and concerns better. Joe Biden is leading in both of those. And yes, I now have the home edition of broadcast graphics.
Look at you, fancy guy. All right, nice.
Right. All right. Watch this, too. For emphasis, I can even circle the fact that Joe Biden is ahead of Donald Trump right there. So that's what we want to see, and ahead of him both Pennsylvania and Wisconsin on that important measure. So there you go. But the other part of this, and this is building on the idea among voters that Joe Biden would be better at handling the coronavirus outbreak. He's got leads over Donald Trump in that straight up head-to-head. The reason that's so important, Elaine, is that coronavirus concerns are very directly tied to vote, more so than the economy. Most people think the Trump administration hasn't handled it well. Most people are concerned about getting it, at least in some way. And so that is all accruing to Joe Biden and helping him in these states, Elaine.
Right. Those numbers certainly suggest that the coronavirus continues to be that overarching concern. So we know that Joe Biden is not going to Milwaukee to accept the nomination. Hillary Clinton famously did not go to Wisconsin. Is that going to hurt Joe Biden? Do voters want him there?
Well, we asked this, and what's interesting is Democrats said, no, it's too dangerous to go and hold public events in Wisconsin. So you see this really lopsided number. Should Joe Biden hold public events in Wisconsin? It's 11-89 saying no, he should not. And this may not surprise because all throughout our COVID polling, it's been Democrats who've been more concerned about the impact of the virus. Not that Republicans haven't, but Democrats have to an even greater degree. So maybe that's not a surprise there. Maybe that doesn't hurt Joe Biden, at least in the short run. I will say, though, by comparison, when we asked Republicans if Donald Trump should hold events in Wisconsin, there you got a more lopsided yes, he should go there and he should campaign there. So that's interesting. We'll see. We know the vice president may go up there. If the president does as well, we'll watch what happens, Elaine.
Oh, that is interesting. All right. What about Pennsylvania, Anthony, Joe Biden's home state? What does the latest estimate show for him there?
Okay. Well, you mentioned at the top of this, Elaine, a couple of those key voter groups, and I'm glad you did because they're the voter groups that we will be watching throughout not just Pennsylvania, but the whole country. The first, let me show you, these are white voters with no college degree. We know Joe Biden has overwhelming support with African Americans. We're looking at white voters here with no college degree. This has been a core part of the Trump base, right? Now, Donald Trump still leads with them. So that's your first take. But this 37% number that I'll show you for Joe Biden right now, okay, this is cutting into Donald Trump's margins. Yes, he's still losing them, but oftentimes it's not whether you win or lose over 50-50, it's how much you get. And among this group, which has gone Republican very reliably, that cutting into Donald Trump's margins is helping Joe Biden statewide. And then the other number that I will show you is white voters with college degrees, this college, non-college split, a big factor in Pennsylvania and other places. And here Joe Biden is winning. He's got a 20-point lead over Donald Trump. That's a group that's been trending towards the Democrats, so he needs to run up those margins there. And so far in the polling, he is, Elaine.
All right. Well, we are awaiting, of course, Joe Biden's decision on who his choice for vice president will be. He's expected to announce that any day now. And you asked voters how important Biden's VP choice will be to them. What did they have to say?
We did. It was a mix. There were plenty who said that it would be important, and that part was interesting. We've got a split, though, when you look at people who are solidly for Joe Biden. Well, they're less likely to say that it's important, which makes sense, right? He's already their guy. But for folks who are considering Joe Biden, though not necessarily for him yet, they were more likely to tell us that this pick would be important. And historically, we do often see that. On the margins, the VP pick can make a difference. And so, you're going to see, the Democrats have told us over and over, they're glad that he's announced that he's going to pick a woman. We'll see what happens when we find out who in particular it is. But that could have an effect, at least in these states, a little bit on the margins, maybe help, maybe hurt, depending. One of the things that I think is also interesting about the VP pick in these states is that Biden is going to need all of those votes, and he's going to need not only that support, but he's also going to need enthusiasm. A lot of these voters are telling us that they're voting for Joe Biden just to vote against Donald Trump. So we'll see then if the pick is in fact something that helps build that enthusiasm as well.
All right, Anthony Salvanto with some new toys to help deepen our understanding of the electorate. Anthony, always great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Elaine.